This is the Brick Commentary Central. You're listening to the BCC podcast. It is Monday, August 29th of 2022, and you're listening to episode 321 of the BCC podcast. I'm LQ. Joining me today is Leo.
It's a big shame that the Artemis rocket could not also go 3-2-1 liftoff today.
You know, I saw something about that in a headline. I didn't look any further into it.
I thought that was tomorrow.
For sure it was supposed to launch today, and they had some technical failures that they needed to address.
Also, Ford is here.
Que pasa?
And it's just us again, so deal with it.
I know, we gotta deal with this guy. Ugh.
Get a load of this guy.
Ugh. I know.
Someday our friends will come back.
Someday.
Maybe.
Were they ever really our friends?
Not if they don't come back.
Whoa.
Uh,
I mean, I've been through some really interesting life circumstances with these guys too. I can't believe they're not here.
That's true.
I mean, one of my friends got married and they were all around.
Which one?
This guy named Leo, I don't know.
yeah, I miss Leo.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's been a rough week for everybody else, huh?
Most of them are
Captain,
giving a
it's
timeline
Wednesday.
of by the end of the year that they will be on again.
End of the year?
Yeah, I don't trust
Will
the
we
timelines
still be
either.
friends by then?
We need to get some guest stars in between now and then.
Yes.
Tried,
That's
but
going to be the case.
they don't respond to me.
This fall is a very
they
busy
say it's too
fall, is
late.
it not?
Just bully Takuma to get back on.
Yeah.
I've messaged him before. He said it's too late for him.
What is this?
That means we
Def
must do it
Leppard song?
earlier.
I mean, I could do it
late.
earlier, but Leo is rarely ever on until just before we start, so...
Oh yeah, because he's also in grad school, but doesn't know how to budget his time effectively.
I mean, I could be on earlier if you wish me.
I mean, I'm fine with the time personally, but...
I mean, he said this live. It's on recording, so he can't get out of this now. He can come on earlier.
Are you teaching classes this semester, Leo?
Nope. Thankfully.
Cool.
But still, everyone else has less of an excuse. 9 o'clock is not that late.
No.
Says you.
It's like 8 o'clock for me.
Yeah, that's true. It's even earlier for you. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, if we go too much earlier, too, for anyone listening in different time zones, it becomes way too early in the day. Like, if they're working, it would overlap when they're still working. So that's
Also,
why-
a lot of podcasts record live earlier in the day anyway. So, like a lot of the ones I listen to,
Well, the ones you
come on,
listen
like,
to are more
8 o'clock, 10:30,
in the
that
morning.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, that's because it's probably their job and not a hobby.
Well, yeah. I don't really listen to a lot of hobby podcasts anymore. They're just, I don't know, they've fallen by the wayside for me. Unfortunately. I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm in a slow motion decline in my hobby. I'm kind of falling out of love with it.
That's a shame.
I
In
don't
certain
know.
ways, I am too. Just where I'm not as enthusiastic about the news because the prices suck so much.
Yeah, like there's some things I'm kind of enthusiastic with. Like I recently, and I know Leo's gonna sneer at me for this. Recently, I got one of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures.
That's
the
not
Please tell me it
Lego.
wasn't.
Superwoman.
Please tell me it wasn't Batman Who Laughs.
It was actually the Superwoman from the Crime Syndicate.
Okay.
It comes with one piece of Starro.
It comes with the One Piece?
Well, one of 4 pieces of Starro.
No.
And it's actually not a bad figure. Like the quality is actually pretty good, and in terms of its competition, it's actually much cheaper than like, say, if you were getting like a Hasbro Marvel Legends or something like that. So it feels pretty good. I actually went ahead and ordered a bunch of the other 2 in this set because I would like to complete Starro.
That is an admirable goal.
And I got them like they were on sale too. So like I got them on sale, and I got them with gift card money and Target Circle points.
Stonks.
So yeah, I got 2 for the price of 1 basically. And yeah, I'd say like they're doing pretty good, but I don't want to get into any more lines right now.
Yeah.
I just I have to keep my money tight to the chest. And this is a nice like basically bargain line at this point compared to the competition. I mean with Lego and everything. But it doesn't scratch the itch, you know? 'Cause nobody else is really talking about it like they are like Lego and all that, you know, like the Hasbro stuff.
You should get into BattleTech.
You are not the first person to tell me that.
No, you should get into Nintendo. You know, no one I know.
You are also not the first person to tell me that.
I thought Liam was the very first person to tell you that.
You know, I don't have any friends who are like as into Nintendo as I am. None of my siblings are as into Nintendo. Like, there's no one I can really have a discussion on Nintendo history and collecting and stuff with.
I've been trying. I can't collect Nintendo stuff. I'm just not as into it. Like, video games aren't as baked into my soul as like physical objects. Like,
well, the thing is, that's a good thing about video games.
Like, BattleTech would be perfect for me. Like,
you don't have to
that has a figurine element,
be into
right?
it with video games. Is the thing. You can
but
just.
Then also on the video
Ford
game
wants
side,
to own stuff.
Yes, I want to own things. I like the tactile feeling of things.
You remember the Scott the Woz video, Borderline Forever, Leo, talking about why play video games when you can talk about video games? That's me. That's the fun of video games, is you get to talk about them more than... I enjoy talking about them more than playing them generally.
Also, like, I just don't have time to play video games at this point anymore. Like, I've been trying to get myself to sit down and get on the virtual console on the Switch and play Earthbound for basically the entire year. But I haven't actually turned my Switch on since, like, last December.
Now, you better be careful, Ford, of ever mentioning that you're bored again. Because I will remember this moment now.
Yeah. Ford, you have a PC or
no,
Mac,
it's
right?
It's not because I'm bored. It's because I'm busy.
Ford.
Yeah.
You have a PC or a Mac, right?
Yeah.
Go download a Game Boy Advance emulator and play Bionicle Quest for the Toa.
I've already played that game.
Then
on
play
the
Maze of
actual
Shadows.
cartridge.
I have a cartridge of one of the Bionicle games somewhere.
Wait,
and I forgot what I did with it.
Why play Maze of Shadows when I can read
talk
the
about
book?
Maze of Shadows?
I have the book. I can read it.
Yes, but you're missing the horror of 2D Karzani.
But I've seen 2D Karzani. He's not that scary.
Maze of Shadows is like a oddity in Bionicle lore, honestly.
It is.
As a game or as a
game?
Actually, no, as a concept, because like we don't think, you know, like most people think about the main story, and that's not really part of the main story that you see, like visually. And Bionicle is a very visual medium up to that point.
Wow.
I mean, you don't see it.
I think the best chapter books come from those sections of the story which are departing from the main storyline, like
Adventures,
Voyage of Fear, Maze of
Time
Shadows,
Trap,
Time Trap,
the Metro,
Legacy of Evil,
one, 2004, 2005, not the movie arcs, are the best books in Bionicle. Yeah.
Like the best book that's based wholly on the mainline story, I think, is Downfall.
Which one's Downfall?
That's The Death of Motoro.
Oh, because he's on the downfall and the waterfall. Ah.
What's so weird about the books?
Also, I actually ordered all of the books last month. I'm still waiting on Dark Destiny, but I have a feeling that it got lost.
Perhaps.
Because literally been a month. And
you should call Amazon. They might give it to you for free.
I'll call them, but I don't have faith that it's actually going to get here. I've actually seen it for cheaper on Bricklink. I'll just get it there.
Well, call Amazon and see about that, because like they're usually helpful with like resolving those things.
Not here.
At least in my experience.
Not here.
You don't have to call them. You just use the live chat, and you're like guaranteed to get.
Yeah, they're still saying like, yeah, well, we can't like issue you the refund yet.
I'll ask them when.
Because it might still come, and it's like, okay, when? And they're like, we can't tell you.
No, they can tell you. It's in their policy. They can tell you.
Well, tell that to their AI.
Oh, you're still talking to an AI? You just keep spamming until it gives you a real person.
I keep trying to, and it won't work.
Why do you always have these issues?
Because I'm me. That's why. Because I don't. Okay, because when I was 6, they sat me down in front of a computer and I was like, this is stupid. Why should I type stuff when I could write it? It's so much easier to write.
Oh,
While
no,
everybody else
Ford.
was just like totally mind crunched into like just typing everything out. And I'm like, this keyboard stuff. This is stupid.
Ford,
I want to write.
You're never going to succeed in this century.
Ford, I do my fastest writing on the keyboard.
I told you I'm an
like
old
the fastest
soul.
fingers in the West.
I told you I'm an old soul.
I'm pretty bad at typing. Though I actually did a test the other day with some of us at work were doing it, and I can type faster than average apparently, and with less typos, but you wouldn't know that from my messages.
Boy, don't we know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't like technology. It's intrinsically baked in my DNA.
So you're basically like Alan Grant from Jurassic Park.
Actually, well, I'd say a mix of him and Ian Malcolm for my philosophy.
But those aren't compatible.
No, I'm talking about how in the scenes where he gets next to the computer, it
Yes.
frizzes out when he just touches it, right?
Yeah.
You're that way.
Yep. Like I
None
need
of this
to go to
Malcolm. I'm reclining with my chest exposed on the sofa.
Oh no, not that one. I'm thinking more philosophically.
Okay.
About like, chaos and nature.
Ian Malcolm's philosophy sucks, and it doesn't actually have any substance.
Well, it's not a philosophy; it's a mathematical theory.
Yes.
Unless.
Yeah, I don't mean like personal philosophy. I mean like as far as like what you think philosophically about life and nature and everything. The world.
Speaking of the world,
what is Ian Malcolm's job again?
He's a chaos theory guy.
Chaos theoretician.
Okay.
Yeah, he does analysis.
He's basically like the risk analysis person.
Yeah, he does analysis for complex systems, which is what Jurassic Park was supposed to be.
I see. All right, go ahead with the topic.
Okay. So, this is something I've been thinking very deeply about for a while. Is Lego's own... The way Lego tells a story. And how... they use a combined arm of multimedia efforts to sell the toys. And so, we all know the adage that the story is made for the sets. But with this, I was kind of having the idea of, well, how well do these sets reflect the story that the advertising team crafts around it? So, as you can see by the title, we are going to talk about the Adventurers line. And you may ask, well, the story of Adventurers is very straightforward, isn't it? Well, that's probably correct, but as Ford was pointing out before we were recording, it does not really have a story until you get to Orient Expedition.
So I also want to clarify this. It's not that it didn't necessarily have a story. It more so had scenarios where you kind of fill it in with your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I think there may have been like smaller comics in Lego Mania magazine when it was still called Lego Mania. But those have since been lost to time. So I'm sure there's an archive of them somewhere. I couldn't find it in short. It's such a short
someone
time.
has a stack of them in his basement somewhere.
Somebody does. Somebody.
It ain't me.
But I know that I know Orient Expedition had a huge emphasis on story, and I think part of that was because it came out in like 2002, 2003.
Yep.
Which is also around the time that a certain theme that we really like around here, but also have a love-hate relationship with, also came out. Yes, Galador. Yes, perfect. Yes. No, we don't have a love-hate relationship with that one. We all love Galador. We all love Galador. Galador is great. Matthew Ewald is a great person. If you met him, yeah. I wonder what else came out in that time.
Lego Hockey. The NBA sets. Came
Oh,
out.
that NBA. That's got a rich history. Let me tell you.
I do not
yeah,
believe there's
but-
any Alpha Team in 2003. But yeah,
I think they took a break in
I think
03.
2003 was the gap year.
Yeah, because it was
Expedition. I think was just other than Bionicle was the only story theme going on.
Yeah, and I think because they had such a success with Bionicle and how it had a very defined beginning, middle, and end, they wanted the same thing for this sort of pulp adventure style subline in Adventures.
Yeah.
So
for the goal for this, if this works out as a topic, it's more or less track the evolution of Lego stories as they develop as a marketing approach to get the kids to buy the toys. So,
all right.
would you like to at least brief us with the overview of the 1998 debut of Adventurers, or what we know about it?
Okay. So Adventures is basically Lego's take on classic pulp adventure style stories. It stars, your archetypical sort of yes, please stream this, Liam. This would be very helpful. If he's even still there.
I'm
Wow.
streaming it.
Not for us.
Oh, I mean,
Yes, on
stream it
Discord.
there.
So we can track in real time and not wait for the YouTube to update.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. So, start off with the Australian adventurer known as Johnny Thunder. He's an archaeologist.
Question: does that mean
Yes.
this takes place on Earth?
Yes.
Okay, so this takes place on Lego's idealistic version of Earth, where everything is right and the helicopter saves the man in the river.
Then how do you
Lego
experience the
City is
crossover between
Detroit.
Dino Island and Lego Island 2?
There is something there. It will occur, if not in this episode, then later on in the series. So if we're getting to that, you're getting way too ahead of yourself, man.
We get there when we get there.
Yes. Anyway, so really the main character is Johnny Thunder. He's an archaeologist. He's an adventurer from Australia. And he just goes around the world to find lost treasures. He does so with his partners in crime, Charles Lightning, otherwise known as Dr. Kilroy later
I've
on.
never heard him called Charles Lightning before tonight.
Neither have I. Looking
Yeah,
this
neither
up was
have
the
I.
first time I heard
I
of it.
call him Dr. Kilroy anyway. And he is actually Johnny Thunder's uncle. And
Isn't he British though?
look, you
Australia
could be
was a British
Yeah,
penal colony.
it was
It didn't happen that fast.
It was probably an uncle very loosely, okay?
Yes. Also, it's possible that his parents just moved to Australia, or maybe his
like
father or his
AC/DC.
mother. Yeah, his mother or his father went to Australia, found some Australian
Don't kids
significant
of British
other, and
parents generally keep a British accent?
you technically
Well-
get your accent from the people you are around when you were
Look at Mace, after all.
older. Yeah.
No, I shouldn't say that on air.
Perfect Floridian accent.
Anyway,
If he hears this, he'll laugh.
they are also joined. Okay, I also forgot to mention that Charles Lightning, or Dr. Kilroy, also, he's from London. He's very much a Londonite in this early 1900s sort of setting, and he works at the museum in London, or the London Museum, or whatever you want to call it. Then we have the third of this trio, and that is Gale Storm, or as we know her, Pippin Reed.
Mhm.
So she is a journalist that's kind of documenting all of their adventures, either doing it by hand or using a video camera, usually just taking it by camera, from what I can recall. And she's sort of like the hothead. She's also a pilot. And actually, I think there is a slight little factoid. that she's actually the fiance of Johnny Thunder.
Now, I also have a memory of that, but I do not
Yeah.
remember where that came from.
I
I feel
think
like it
it
was mentioned in one
came-
of the games, but I don't
I think
know.
so. I think it came from
was like the
the
Minotaur
Minotaur or
Yeah.
the Lost Treasure of Ancient Greece or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I think I have it linked in our.
It has the Minotaur in it.
Yeah,
so
and it has
it's
the Minotaur and the
it's
the
the
maze
big
and all that,
Yeah.
the labyrinth. And their first adventure, their first outing of this trio, was to ancient Egypt to find the lost tomb of Pharaoh Hotep.
which is the only Adventures minifigure I
Yes,
have, oddly
and they
enough.
did so to find the magical Regao ruby. So the thing is, Hotep is undead.
Very inconvenient.
Yeah. So he doesn't like it when people try to steal his treasure, especially that ruby. And yeah, it's not good because if you do take the ruby, you will suffer the mummy's curse. And nobody likes to be cursed. Nobody. Now the thing is, who is also vying for this ruby? Well, we have two different characters that were
It is
eventually merged
very-
into one character. So this is where it gets really, really screwy. So bear with me. All right, so the first, and I believe he is actually pictured in here. Is he? Yes. Actually,
Yes,
no, both of them
They're
are
both
pictured here.
pictured. here.
Okay, so the one in the white pith helmet that isn't Dr. Kilroy. So they're both in this Jeep.
Wait, do you
if
have an
wanna-
image here?
Could you
You're holding-
actually?
It's in the
yeah,
stream right now.
It's the one in the stream.
Oh, it is the
If
one
you
in the
could
stream.
actually,
Okay.
yeah, if I could ask you to zoom in on the Jeep, that'll probably be really helpful for this
It's not going
discussion.
to be as helpful as you think. It's pretty
Actually-
pixely.
No, that's good. That's good because I really just need general looks. Okay,
You can
so
bricks.
the one in the pith helmet with the epaulets and the hook hand.
You're
Does
using
he have a
all
hook
words
hand?
I don't
Yes,
understand.
he does have a hook hand. Do you not know what hook or hand mean?
No, pith helmet, epaulets.
You don't know what a pith helmet is?
No.
LQ, you have seen a stereotypical British man from the.
I
kinda
didn't
like
think
the,
that was a
the
helmet.
Indian
I
Raj,
thought it was
right?
a cloth hat.
No, it's a helmet.
It's a helmet.
Well, I didn't know
And
that.
and the epaulets are the shoulder thingies.
I thought those had.
All
a
right,
different
so this
name.
guy in the pith helmet with the hook for a hand, Liam, is Baron von Baron. And then we have his brother, I guess,
Loosely.
in the his loosely brother, who does not have a hook hand. This is important later. Is Lord Sam Sinister in the top hat. So these two guys, they're very, rich British guys that are looking to find this this ruby. And yes, that is what a pith helmet looks like, Leo. Thank you.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, they're looking for this ruby. Now the thing is here, later on they refer to this Sam Sinister as Sly Boots because they merged the two characters together to make Lord Sam Sinister in Orient Expedition.
Yes. Not confusing in the slightest.
No, not at all.
And according
But,
to Lego Haunted House set, there is a third brother who is dead in the attic.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
We all love the Lego Haunted House
from
set
what
for
I
its continuity.
understand. Yeah, that is from what I understand is how they try to reconcile the whole three different looks for the same guy, or is it thing? I don't know. So I think really it's that the guy in the top hat was really supposed to be Baron von Baron, and then Sam Sinister was the guy in the pith helmet.
I always thought the guy in
It's-
the pith helmet was Sam Sinister.
Yeah, well, that's what
Yeah.
everybody thinks because of Orient Expedition. It's really weird. It's really weird. Okay. Anyway, so
So-
these are your characters for this run. I think
Yeah.
there's also a pilot guy that
Yes,
I am
in the
escaping the name
set,
of.
in the set, Brick
So if you
set
wanna
lists
zoom
him
out a
as
bit.
Harry Kane.
Yes,
he's
Harry
the
Kane.
guy.
I don't like the implications.
Well, he has a mustache like Johnny Thunder. I'm not sure if it's the same head or not.
But he's not Johnny
he's
Thunder,
not Johnny
guys.
Thunder.
Like, he flies a plane, he's an adventurer,
And
he
wears
has a
goggles.
mustache, and he may or may not be Australian, but he's not Johnny Thunder.
Yes.
It's not confusing if you really think about it.
Maybe it's like a who's the pilot from DuckTales?
Launchpad?
The doofus. Launchpad, that's it.
Maybe
Maybe it's a Launchpad situation.
I mean, he never comes back.
No,
he never comes back after this.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing how little they cared.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't know what they had yet. They didn't know what they had.
Okay, would you bump it to the Adventurers 2?
Okay. You say that for, but then you remember Alpha Team Operation Deep Freeze?
Yeah, that got really confused.
Well, that's not the one I was talking about. But that does show
Oh, this is the one listed
Charles
as 2.
Lightning. No, the Adventurers Tomb.
Tomb. Okay. I thought you said Adventurers 2.
No. That is 3. 3 on the thing.
Actually, it's 4. That car is made from a coffin.
Actually, it's a sarcophagus.
Right.
Yes, it is.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
Treasure Tomb. That's Treasure Tomb.
Oh.
Or wait, no. This isn't just Treasure Tomb. This
There's
is
more
actually...
than one tomb?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
well, hang on. Stay on this.
So if that's Treasure's Tomb, this is Adventurer's Tomb, that means this is where
Yes.
the
Okay,
dead
yeah.
adventurers are.
I think this is the one you want to show.
Yes, this
Also,
is the one
why
I wanna
is
show,
the
'cause it has-
sarcophagus so much uglier in this one?
Because it's not the regal one.
Yeah.
It's the
Also,
trap one with the
There
scorpion
is
in it.
a ride I've been on at Legoland that is adventurers themed.
Yes,
Yes,
there is an
yes, that is
adventurers
correct.
themed ride. and
I've been on the one in
interesting.
California and Florida.
Is it good?
It's very fun. Have you been on the Men in Black? No, you haven't been Universal, have you?
No, I have.
You have? Have you been on the Men in Black?
I
ride?
get the high score on the Men in Black ride.
Okay,
I mean, it's
that kind of
a
ride.
very diluted version of that, but
Okay. I do
But
like
it's
that
the same idea.
it could probably use some paint these days. But
Probably. I mean, the one in Florida, in my opinion, looks better than the one in California, but the one in Florida is newer.
yeah,
Also, Florida has a ski show if you want to see Lego minifigures water ski.
Why would
never
I
did
do
see the
that?
ski show.
It's pretty hilarious because
All
Brickbeard
right.
comes in on a jet ski.
All right. So, what do we think is going
Still
on?
exist post COVID.
I don't know. I haven't been since like 2013.
Well, I've never been, so that's more information than I get. So,
Anyway,
Heard
Yeah,
Disney's
so-
making him rip out the Star Wars Brickland.
that's a
Really?
big shame.
wow.
Is that because it's east of the Mississippi?
The east of the Mississippi stuff is only on a Marvel thing.
Oh, okay.
Look, all I need to know is that I don't need to go to Legoland ever because they got rid of the Bionicle Blaster. So,
Well, there never was a Bionicle Blaster in Florida, so you can still go there.
there was never a Bionicle Blaster in Florida.
Instead, we had the Chima ride.
Also,
Oh,
I don't know if
fun.
I've said this. No, I don't think there is a Chima ride anymore, is there?
It might have been changed out. That's right.
I think because there's an Ninjago ride that's newer.
Is there?
I went on that. And fun fact, want to know how creatively bankrupt Disney is these days? The new Spider-Man ride in California is the same ride system as the Ninjago ride from 5
Oof.
years earlier.
Okay. That's not good.
Well,
Oh,
it doesn't
man.
doesn't beat the Universal Orlando Spider-Man ride. I think it's the best.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's
No,
way more active.
that one's way better
than it
than
needs
the
to
one
be.
Disney did in California.
I've heard the whole Avengers campus is kind of a nothing.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah. So what's
Adventure.
going on here? What's in this?
so you
set?
see on the right we have Pharaoh Hotep,
Mhm.
and on the left we have Baron von Baron.
No, it's
No,
technically
that's
Sam
Sinister.
Sinister,
That's Sam Sinister.
but it is technically
Even I'm
also
getting
very
confused.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, personally, This guy is Baron von Baron. He looks like a baron. Okay,
It's the top hat.
it is the top hat. It's the not even just the top hat. It's the print on his chest. You know, it's like he's got this like weird like red scarf thingy. Or no, not even that. He's dressed very nicely, right? Like he's dressed so nicely. It makes me think that yes, you are a baron, not just a lord, a baron. So,
But then you got Pharaoh Hotep with what's presumably the ruby they're all looking for.
yes.
That
And the
minifigure is pretty bad.
Which one?
The Pharaoh.
It's better in person, I think.
It was one of the yeah, I will
the
say
color
this.
is not
It's
consistent.
one of the earliest
it's not.
examples of leg printing and toe printing.
And toes, of all things.
Yes,
Why does he have toes?
An excellent question. We'll never know the answer to that.
because
Yeah. So if you want to bump it to image 4 now.
yeah. So I guess like what's going on here is that the mummy Hotep is just kind of like messing
Chilling?
with them all. Messing with everybody here to make sure they don't get his ruby, the regal ruby or whatever. So this is called
Treasure Tomb.
no, it's called
That's what Brickset lists it as.
So that's the thing. Brickset lists it that. However, the actual name of this, at least in America, I believe, it might be like a localization thing, is Valley of the Kings, which is named after a very real location in Egypt. It's like the trappings are there, but it's not exact.
So Ford, explain to me why Johnny Thunder has a video camera.
Well, you got to get that sweet footage for the gram.
I guess so.
Vlogging.
Look, this is the early 20th century version of vlogs. It's great. They're just like me, guys.
So he's there with Sinister. That is Sinister, right? Or no?
Well, we're calling him Sam Sinister for this talk.
Does he have a hook?
He should.
He has two hands in there. He's holding a pickaxe and a gun. But it looks like he has a mustache.
Nah, it looks like he's got the gun and the hook.
I don't think that's... Well, his hands are claws. So...
Yeah, that's the hook hand on his left.
It's a different color, at least.
Yeah, that's his hook hand.
I think it's just the lighting.
Yep. Yeah, the resolution is not great. Unfortunately, on a lot of these pictures.
But whatever the case, it is supposed to be Sinister with Johnny Thunder. So I guess their relationship is more complicated.
Well, it could be that Johnny got there first, and then this guy came in and was like, "Hey, I want stuff."
No, he got there first. Johnny Thunder beat up his car and he was distracted when he took the footage.
Yeah. Maybe they were looking for that ruby and they're like, "Oh, well, it's not here. Let's go somewhere else." Hey, look, snakes.
Yeah.
There were snakes, by the way. Snakes. Lots of snakes.
Does Lego still
The Egyptians, they really like their snakes. No,
they're during the Vermilion, but I can't recall having seen it more recently.
I feel like they do, but I haven't seen it. Like you said, I haven't seen it recently.
Oh,
they've been using like the newer one.
I doubled up on some of these images because the sets are under two different names.
Oh no!
I have a second image for
like I just said.
Yes, like you just said.
Why is this other image for it just literally like a less? Like who designed it?
Wow.
This is something I expected Lego to do in 2022, not in 2000 or 1998.
In 98. Like, well,
remember,
it still looks better than the instructions for this summer wave, though.
What was the 90s?
Significantly better than the instructions look now, actually.
Okay. If we want to add to the confusion, would you advance to picture 7?
Oh, good. I muted myself just in time for that. Not for you guys, so. You guys.
Bruh.
Ugh, it's allergy season again. What
Yep.
picture do you want to advance to?
Picture 7.
Picture 7. Bi-wing Baron. Ah, that has a different meaning today.
He lost his map
Yes.
and his binoculars.
Uh-huh.
But wait, why would he need his binoculars if he has a monocle? Not saying the monocle is going to give him, telescopic
Yeah,
sight.
Ford,
Like
what do
he's
you think a
Gopaka or
monocle is
something.
for?
But like, shouldn't you take out the monocle?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean he doesn't
Like,
need
does the monocle give him the same vision in that one eye as the vision in the other without it? Is that what it's for?
Well, yes, that is technically what it's for, is to make it so
I mean,
your
I always
eyes-
thought they were for like reading and writing and stuff.
It's
Well, it's
technically
just
just a
eye
singular
function.
glasses.
Yeah.
But you hold it onto your eye with like the force of your face.
It looks cool, is what you're not understanding.
Did anyone
But it must be really uncomfortable.
You probably get used to it, though. I doubt people really ever like wore them practically. I think it's just a way to flaunt wealth.
You mean like Sam Sinister, the Lord Sam Sinister, right here,
As he's called in this set, Baron von Baron.
Boo. We
So
don't know who he really is.
Remind me again, in the Treasure Raiders set, where Baron and Sinister are in the same set, which one was the Baron and which one was Lord Sam Sinister?
Okay, so Baron von Baron was the guy with the pith helmet. This
Yes.
guy in this set.
Okay.
Lord Sam Sinister always has a top hat.
Okay.
Think of it that way. He always has a top hat because he has it in here and in Orient Expedition. I know it's confusing.
Okay. So then we'll go back to Lord Sinister if you'll advance to picture 9.
Picture 9, okay.
Ah.
Is this
Another
not the set
another
from
vignette.
before?
No, it's
set
another
from
vignette.
before?
No, it's not.
Some of
It's-
these are
it's
very
bigger.
similar.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was collecting pictures.
I think
but it
what they
has
were-
4 minifigures instead of just 3.
Yeah, because it has Hotep, right?
Well, it has
Yeah.
Kilroy.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny Thunder for the video camera instead brought a gun.
Smart.
Yes.
Wait,
For his neutral
everybody's packing in
special,
this one.
Johnny Thunder has a gun.
Not just any kind of rifle. Look at that thing.
And it looks like
Is that a
Baron
muzzle
has
loader?
the ruby.
Yeah, I always I forget like how these these
No,
Lego guns
Sinister.
work.
That's Sinister.
These
yes,
like
the ruby.
muzzle loaders, or are they like
No, I think they're like just the
one-shot hammers, man?
Yeah.
Nice.
the muzzle loaders are the ones from the Pirates sets.
Well, those are muskets.
These are like bolt action stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Bolt actions. So
That's
yeah.
also a game you should get into.
Wait, what?
Bolt action. You should also get into bolt action as well as BattleTech.
Oh, okay. Okay then. Jeez, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, that's the thing. Like Liam was saying that a lot of these sets look very much the same. That was kind of the point. Because like even back then, the whole stigma of like Lego is too expensive was kind of still a thing. So they wanted you to get something where it's like if you get one set, you basically have like the full sort of like gist of the theme. With some sets, it does it like like this one. You don't have to get the big one. You got your villains and you got your heroes. That's fine.
This one, Brickset lists this as being $30 at the time of sale.
I mean $30 back then. And a lot more than $30 now.
See, that's the argument. Like some people, like I've noticed Brickset contributors. Also, I'm really not happy with the Brickset contributors lately. With how they're trying to defend the price increases, saying, "Oh, it's just catching up to inflation." Obviously, well, what if Lego was never worth it back then?
I mean, look at this.
This is not
Would
worth
you say this is worth
$30.
30? Yeah. No wonder they almost declared bankruptcy.
Yeah, there is a point where you must acknowledge, what if it was too expensive at one point and it finally got to the point where it wasn't?
Well, what was a rather, comparatively inexpensive theme that got them out of this red that they were in? Easy question to answer.
Galador.
I wish.
One thing that is curious to me that I haven't seen in the other box arts is the ruby features prominently in the background here, like the sun.
Yeah, because the
behind it.
ruby is the thing that, it's the thing that the pharaoh treasures the most. And if you take the ruby, he will curse you forever.
Yeah.
Which does have some continuity
Okay.
later on down the line.
Later,
We'll get to that. We did mention it before, but we will get to that.
We may talk about that in a part 2 then.
I mean, we could fast forward and do it now if you want.
I guess so. We'll see where the rest of the time goes.
I feel like it might flow better since
Okay.
since the Amazon stuff really is kind of like a one-off.
Okay.
That's the thing. It really does function like Indiana Jones. I was trying to save the whole Indiana Jones comparison, but it basically is, right? I
Wait,
mean,
why
like,
are you trying
the
to say
character
it? It's
looks like him.
literally just like Legos admit they are just trying to make Indiana Jones.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, but I'm trying to go for more like, well, it still has a lot more. I'd say it relies more on the fantasy element
They
than Indiana
copied the
Jones
hat
does.
directly.
No, the hat is folded upward.
It's meant to be a copy.
It's not a fedora.
It's like Teddy Roosevelt's hat that he wears.
It's still meant to be Indiana Jones.
But it's not his father, it's his uncle.
Yeah.
And she's a reporter, not a barkeep.
I forgot that woman even had a job.
Such as it was. If you'd like to advance to picture 10.
Picture 10, okay. I'm still weirded out that Temple of Doom is a prequel.
That's right.
Well, you do know what Temple of Doom was supposed to be, right?
No.
It was supposed to be a spiritual sequel to Gunga Din.
I don't know what that is.
It was an old, I want to say movie about the Thuggy cult.
Mm-hmm.
Made back in like the 40s
thing
or
is
50s
about
or
it,
something
though,
like that.
Considering
And it actually has like direct references to that movie in it.
Huh.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, though, everyone watching it assumes it's just a sequel. It makes more sense as far as what the characters say for it to be a sequel. In fact, I bet most of the actors thought it was like a sequel chronologically.
I think the timing was just like, who cares? Just put a date on it. Who cares? Like, yeah, it should have been like 37.
So is the only reason they say it's a prequel because someone didn't pay attention to the dates when they put them in?
Either that, or they just really wanted to be like, okay, here's just a pulp. It can just exist whenever.
Yeah.
So it's more of, it wasn't intentionally a
pulps,
prequel. It was just
because a lot of pulps that it was inspired by, they were just kind of like anthologies.
Yeah.
Like they didn't.
See, I hate using that excuse for stuff that was like, "Oh, this is an anthology." That was, and you can still make your lore line up.
The thing, though, it's not really. I don't want to say it's an excuse. I feel like here it is, but in a lot of cases, it's that you write something, and then you want to go back and flesh something out a little bit more. That's what a lot of these old pulp writers did with, like, I don't know, like Robbie Howard's Solomon Kane. Or
see, there are some cases where people
even
did
Conan,
do that.
The Barbarian was a classic pulp, adventure.
There's some cases where people do that. There's some cases where they just use it as an excuse. You find this in a lot of 70s and 80s stuff, where they just didn't think people would care enough to actually think about the writing being consistent.
And here's the thing: like, I'm naming stuff where it was very much.
By the way,
considered.
there's that Sphinx for you.
Yeah.
Yes. Finally.
Yes. Hey, it has a nose.
It does.
That's cool.
Oddly enough.
You can tell this is before the Lego World War II.
What?
Wait, you didn't know that?
That's a theory for it. It's not confirmed.
Oh.
No one knows exactly how the Sphinx lost its nose.
Yeah.
I blame it on the Germans.
I think it was the aliens, but that's.
I think it might have just fallen off.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Let's just get rid of the pyramids. They were built by slaves, anyways.
Hey, they got paid.
I mean, it would work by modern sensibilities. Also, how awful would that tent be to like be in?
Just straight black.
It's a black tent in the desert.
Well, it gets cold at night.
Look, the Sinister has to keep some of his trademarks.
But like, I guess like don't leave any water in there, or else it's gonna boil.
Probably.
I don't know.
Lego. I have noticed that Lego does like using obelisks in these larger sets.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they can get their designs in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Design is a very loose term for pre-21st century Lego.
Yeah.
But also they were trying. They were trying.
I think this is the only set I got, this and maybe Temple of Anubis, that has Gale Storm in it.
I was about to mention that, yeah.
Yeah, who's holding the video camera this time.
Mm-hmm. Also wearing a pith helmet, Liam.
Mm-hmm.
I got it now. It still doesn't look like a helmet when it's in white. It looks like cloth.
Well, get used to it. You're going to be seeing a lot more of it. So yeah, and we have the Sphinx.
The coup de grace for 98 is picture 11, the Temple of Anubis.
Anubis, a name and something else.
Yes, it is an actual ancient Egyptian deity.
Anubis is the
guardian of the dead.
Yes. So god of the underworld?
No, that'd be Osiris.
Okay.
Egyptology is weird.
Because for some reason I kept like defaulting to Ra, the sun god.
No, Anubis's deal was he was the guy who you invoked when you were doing the mummification process.
Yes.
And he was the guy who put your heart on the scales to be weighed against Ma'at.
Yeah, and then he would basically be your guide as to whether or not you make it to the afterlife or whatever. Something like that.
Well, it was if your heart was weighed true.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it was fed to Ammit the Devourer.
Right.
And you just went into oblivion or something.
Because back in Egypt, they thought the heart was the the actual place where all of your being was, and not your brain, which is why they liquefied your brain and put it in a tube.
They maybe had a point, considering how little we use our brains today.
I mean,
so the Temple of Anubis, Lord.
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
Let's see. Well, it is a temple, and it is of Anubis,
and it has a hot air balloon.
It has a lot of stuff.
This is
this is like, of course, the flagship set of the theme. And it was not only a temple, but also the inside of the temple, a hot air balloon, and a Jeep. So there's a lot going on here. I'd say, like, if you were to just get one set from this theme, get this if you can, because it's got everything you want.
Yeah, spend $500 on the aftermarket and get this set.
Also, it's got a palm tree. Instantly cool.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly cool. So I can't speak to any of the features that the set has, but it's certainly got all those hieroglyphs.
And it does have
that are
that
are actually really interesting and very detailed. Wow. Like, I'm getting a closer picture of the hieroglyphics. They're very interesting.
At this point,
yes, Harry Kane is also
there.
I believe all these were printed, which is
nice.
Even more
okay, yeah. So
yeah, impressive.
If you look at, let me pull the picture up myself, zoom it in. The left side there of the image where the temple is, the upper right, if it'll zoom in, I think that's supposed to be Lego Osiris, because he's got the green face.
Do you mean on the lower right?
Or I'm waiting for the picture.
Oh, wait, with the green like hat or whatever?
Yeah, the green hat. So that's no, that's just all right. So no, that's just a general pharaoh hat. Now that I'm looking at, because in most art we see Osiris is generally green, but that's like the
what did Osiris look like again?
Green.
Like, what was his head?
So he wore the crown of a stylized crown of Upper Egypt, which was the
Okay.
white one. The crown of Lower Egypt was the red one.
Okay, I think yeah, I think the gods that are represented here are Anubis and Ra.
Yeah. So, well, it's not necessarily Ra itself. So, okay. So
I
on the
think.
right side, it looks like Anubis, and I'm not sure who that guy is, but he looks important because of his hat. And then
Yeah.
on the left side, on the right side of the image, it looks like Horus on the bottom,
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of.
and
Horus.
then
Okay.
I think that's an aspect of Ra or something, but it looks like it's the crown of Lower Egypt. Then there's the Aten, which is the sun disk and the beetle there. And then there's the reed boat that the pharaohs would be in to be transported through the Duat on the way to the underworld. So there's a lot of stuff Lego's included on this.
This is more educational than the actual like educational themes today. Like modern Lego with their NASA stuff, eat your heart out. Like there's so much more that you can discover here.
I'm not making any claims about that.
Seriously though, like we're actually having an intellectual discussion about this. This is great. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this is where the final curse for Baron von Baron is made, because I guess we can assume that he got the ruby.
Yeah, well, he and Sinister are holding that treasure chest for dear life.
Yeah,
so
they stole that ruby away.
I guess they win.
That Hotep is not he is not a happy camper.
Yeah,
let me tell you. Also, this is the one with the detailed sarcophagus in the bottom left-hand corner. If you want to zoom in on that,
it's very nice.
Yes. Like I remember seeing this as a kid and was like, I want that. Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah, you can still kind of see it.
It's got his printing on.
Also, oddly enough, it looked like the face that Liam uses for my sig fig, like the base, like glasses face.
Where?
On the face of this of that sarcophagus. You can't see it in this picture.
No, I cannot see it at all.
Cannot see it at all.
Yeah, let me see if I can find
better
a
photo?
brick link. Yeah. Let me see. This might take me a bit of time, so you might want to continue.
Okay.
I think we're getting towards the end of
yeah,
Egypt,
it's
and
like-
we're running out of time.
So Egypt feeds into the Amazon. This is the same year. If you want to advance to image 12.
Okay, image 12.
Which I include mostly because, you know, it's a Zeppelin.
I know this set.
Yeah.
It's the one that's painted like a nuke.
Jeez.
Why is there no face on that guy?
I wish I could tell you.
Maybe he has his head turned the other way.
I think I may
Well,
have
maybe,
Also, this is a different. Yeah, they introduced a few more heroes in this one.
Heroes? More?
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
he does have
few
a face.
different characters that I don't have the names of.
Is this guy a hero? He doesn't look like a hero to me.
No, he is not. With the scar.
The one that's picking up the thing by the spider web.
Has a
No, he
golden
is
plate
not.
though, so that's fun.
I will get his name though, because he is a villain. Also, here they're looking
are you talking
for
about,
the.
Is that supposed to be Senior?
No, that is not Senior Palomar.
Oh, is it Max Villano?
I believe so.
Okay.
Max Villano, yeah, that does
Yep.
ring a bell.
Or Villano, I guess, since he's supposed to be Spanish. Or
Yeah, whatever. See. Jungle.
And is that Harry Kane as well, piloting, or is that Pippin?
Don't know who that is. Let me. Yes, it is Harry Kane. Okay.
Okay, so
I thought
he's
it was
back.
somebody else.
So he survived the desert expedition.
Yes, and it
You
also
guys made this
has.
big deal about him never showing up again just to be wrong.
Okay, so we were wrong. Okay, so it also has.
That's not a minor thing. Now we're gonna have media matters issues.
Well, that's because he doesn't come up after. No,
You want to
I'm
say
gonna
that?
beat
You want to
myself with
say
this. It's because he doesn't come up in the most memorable story, being Orient Expedition, which is the true globe-trotting story of adventurers and the true test of its potential as a long-lasting theme.
Even though that was the last one, it ended there.
But we still remember it
We do
to
remember
this day more than any other part of this theme. So I'm right.
If you'd like to advance to image 13.
River Expedition.
Okay. Lego would never be able to get away with this today.
Oh no.
That's a very
They-
iconic minifigure, though.
They named, I'm presuming he's supposed to be some kind of Inca, but he's named Achu.
So that's the thing. These sets have okay. Can I explain a little bit of this? So we're
You got
introduced
3
to
minutes.
we're introduced to a few new characters in this round, and I guess we can get to this more next time. But we have Achu, who is a mystical leader of these sun disk worshipping Aztec, Mayan, Incan people.
I guess he's like the Hotep stand-in.
Basically, yeah. And then the other foil here, as far as the villains are concerned, is Senor Palomar, who is a South American bandit who is after the Sun Disk. So basically just Baron von Baron.
Oh boy, more stereotypes.
Yes. Yeah, and he's more about like, ooh, profit. Yes. Does that remind you of? So yeah, basically nothing different from.
He reminds
the
you
other
of the
villains.
man in the white hat from Last Crusade.
That's exactly who he's based on.
Is it now?
I mean, you can't deny it. He's the
true,
Panama
I
Hat guy. As Lego Indiana Jones 2 said, he is indeed the Panama Hat man. All right,
You're not wrong.
with his freaky looking striped sailor guys as henchmen.
That was weird.
I told you it's based on stupid pulps. It's great.
Well, at this point, it's basing itself on the material which was based on the old pulps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another degree removed from the actual source.
Yeah. Ooh,
all
we're also
design
introduced to I think another character in this set in particular. If you want to
The monkey?
close up to not the monkey.
Gabaros.
Who?
Another. He looks like a henchman-looking guy.
Okay, that guy. I want to make sure I get the name right. Yes, this is Gabaros. Or Gabaros, or whatever.
You pronounce that 2 different ways.
Yes. I'm surprised I got my
If I try to say it, it'll sound like Italian.
I'm surprised I got my roll. On that one. Yeah, Gabaros or whatever. So yeah. He's just kind of here. He's just kind of here.
He is.
He only comes in 2 sets.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, wow, we are really awful. Harry Kane actually got his own set in this wave.
Yes, he did. He did. I did not choose to post it though, since it was small.
We have one more set left, and we're running out of time, so you should get to it.
So yeah, bump to image 14. Last one we have.
This is the temple I take. Yes.
Yep. It's the coup de grace.
Man, those old base plates with like the raised stuff kind of make me want to throw up.
Well, it did make the set $80.
Yeah.
But they're so cool, though.
Darn it, this is making me feel better about Lego's current pricing.
But they look so cool. I love raised base plates. Especially this one. Like
they
this
feel
one makes
nightmarish to me.
like it makes such great use of the space,
Yeah,
like
it
with the
makes
river
great
running
use
through
of
it and the
it, but
bridge. Oh, I love it.
I don't know. It
Yeah,
makes
but
me
that
sick.
mold must have cost a fortune to make.
I mean, yes.
Who wants to bet that someday we're gonna
But-
find out those molds Lego says are so expensive aren't really that expensive?
Oh, I can tell you that they aren't. I mean, like when it costs like pennies to make a bottle, how much do you think it takes to make a Lego brick?
No, not for the brick, like the steel.
No, the mold, like actually making the mold.
Even
itself.
so, how
For
much
the
do you like
injection.
in comparison to a Lego brick, which is fractions of a penny, probably to even make, even using like the best plastics on the market? Do you really think that this is going to be that much more?
Yes. It was probably a quarter of. It's probably like $25,000 at least to
But I mean, like
make this
per
mold.
unit that you make, though.
We're not talking about units that you make. We're talking about the molds.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
thinking more units then.
No.
I can't really speak
It's
to
like
molds.
the
then.
cost for these things, they have to pay for the mold that they invest in order to make it, which is why some of the pieces
Because I can't imagine that something like this is your standard injection molding.
No, it's not. But
Yeah.
it's the same reason that things like if it's
Base plates aren't as high quality as the other bricks either, though. So
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I don't really.
But even
know
then,
that.
you're paying for
bulk.
a very specialized injection mold.
Also, another thing about the set, that really makes it stand out as the flagship set of the wave.
The palm tree.
It has a palm tree.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. They still have that video camera there.
Yes.
Pretty sure
Except this time it has a stand. I guess so.
And I actually just noticed it actually has a photo in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
Which also happened with Dino Island, but we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah. I want to talk about Dino Island, but I just have the one image for it.
I don't see any images from Dino Island.
I posted
here.
it in podcast.
Okay. We can maybe save it for next time, but we could just discuss like the one character in this that really sets things on fire.
No, leave it as a cliffhanger.
Okay, we'll leave it as a cliffhanger.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. There is a certain character who comes up in Dino Island that really makes you think about who Johnny Thunder is as a person.
It's Mike, isn't it?
Yes, it's Mike. Of course, it's Mike. Yeah.
Is Harry Rod or whoever in these
Harry
sets
Kane.
is Harry Kane? Is he in these?
No,
sets?
he is not. I checked.
Oh,
You're
no.
welcome.
Yep. Which means that after Dino Island, the 3-year adventurers gap, I guess Harry Kane.
Oh, but there's another thing here that really is interesting, but we'll have to get to that next time.
Okay, we'll get to that next time.
Yep.
Actually, talk about when Adventures has a coherent plot to follow because
because this is well before they have that.
Yeah, it's
they had one game for the mummy, and then at the end, the mummy was like not a Lego mummy, but a humanoid-looking mummy.
Right. Like it just kind of like stood there with all of its flashy animation goodness.
Yeah. It's like all these sets though for the desert expedition theme, they serve really just as vignettes, like you were saying, of the action. They're all just smaller scale versions of themselves, essentially.
Exactly. Like they were just like, if you were to get one set from this theme and you're on a budget, just get this, and you've got pretty much everything we have to offer.
You're saying it like it's a good thing.
Well, yes, that's how Lego operates.
This theme perfectly conveyed the story it was trying to tell.
Why do you think Lego likes helicopters so much? They make so many helicopters that it's basically like, okay, if you want one set, then get this one helicopter that's cheaper instead of getting the helicopter with like a bunch of other stuff.
That doesn't make it better.
It doesn't make it better, but it's how they operate business standpoint.
It's just stratifying the
who are you to tell me that I shouldn't talk about the business standpoint when you took my entire Avatar episode? We're like, no, I didn't say you
shouldn't talk about the business. I'm saying that it's not good business.
Well, that's how they operate, man.
It devalues the other sets.
It does.
It's very serious business, though.
Yes, very serious.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us today. Be sure to leave a comment down below, share the video, click the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those good things that make YouTube not hate us quite as much. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter. I just post there when we go live, but since YouTube's not going to notify you, that can be a good way to find out, as well as joining the BCC Crew Discord server. Link is in the description below, and I usually post within a day or an hour of when we're going to go live there. New episodes are also posted to Rumble, so be sure to check that out. Link to join is in the description below. Unlike on YouTube, we get money for all the ads that play in our video on Rumble. And as always, be sure to join us. I'm realizing the outro is not muted this entire episode, so I wonder if it was just playing at some point. Nope, it wasn't. So why won't it play now? There we go. I have no idea what's up with that, but join us every Monday around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a new episode of the BCC Podcast. For Ford, Leo, and myself, LQ, thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.